Hi, welcome to this workshop. Get your first 10 or next 10 clients with small, low risk steps. I'm Sharon Birch, the CEO of New Directions for Nurses, and I'm excited to get started on this very interactive workshop. Now, I encourage you to pause the video whenever I ask questions and to actually do the exercises that I'm going to introduce to you. And you might benefit from going through the recording a few times because it's going to be very packed with information. And this is not just fluff, it's key information that nurses need to solve their first big three problems of starting up. So the first one is, how do you keep your nursing license safe when you have a business, and particularly when you're choosing your business idea? Um, what if you don't have enough clients? How do you get more clients? And marketing for most nurses feels very stressful and inauthentic. So we are going to dive in and look at how to solve these three problems. Let's start with the first one. So I like to use the metaphor of a road in uh, sort of an not inhospitable, but in a uh, rural area, let's just say, an open area where you could go any direction. It's wide open. Um, but there's one lane that's paved and very easy to go down, and it has some pretty clear boundaries or edges. So that is just like your nursing business ideas. There's a lane that is safe for your license, and that is uh, defined. That lane is defined by these documents here in the middle of the screen. Your standards of nursing practice. That would be generalist standards from the American Nurses Association, or if you're a specialist like pediatric specialty, holistic nurse specialty, emergency department, whatever your specialty might be, you will have a specialty standard of practice that includes the generalist standards but builds more specific language into the standards. So the biggest thing to check is to get a copy of your standards of practice for your specialty and read them. Get to know them. Think about your business ideas as you read through your standards and ask yourself, does your uh, vision of your business go along with what it says in those standards that you can do? Okay, so the standards are what you can do. Likewise, the American Holistic Nurses Association has a document called their Position Statement on Complementary and Integrative Health Approaches. That also describes what you can do. And the ANA Code of Ethics and your nursing theories. All of these are the foundation of your practice and are the paved highway, that you can go down very easily. Now, what are the edges? The edges of the road are represented and are uh, ready to inform you in your State Nurse Practice Act. You can get this by going to the website for your state Board of Nurses. It's a legal document that describes what you must do to be a nurse and what you must not do. And remember, the State Nurse Practice Act is designed to protect the public from nurses who might be incompetent, or unethical. So think of the Practice Act. You need to get a copy, print it off, read it. It's in legal language, so it's a little bulky, but read it. And it will tell you clearly what you must do, like you must have graduated from an accredited nursing program. And you must, if you're in a state that requires CE for license renewal, you must do a certain number of hours of CE every renewal period. It's those kind of things. You really know those things, but read the act just to reassure yourself and see if there's anything you've missed. And then on the other side of your lane that is safe is the parts of the Nurse Practice Act that describe what you must not do. Here again, you know what these are. more than likely, but read the Practice Act to reassure yourself and just make sure and confirm that you haven't missed anything. It's like an example would be, you won't diagnose someone's health problem unless you have an advanced practice license that allows you to do that. You would not tell the person either in your marketing or in your private conversations that you can heal or cure any kind of illness. So those are clearly things that you would not do. You must not do those. If what you want to do is described in your standards of practice and code of ethics and theories, nursing theories, and the ANA position statement on complementary and integrative health approaches. If what you want to do is described in there, you're good to go as long as the State Practice Act does not specifically tell you can't. Okay. And now, I'm not a lawyer, so of course I'm not giving you legal advice here. I'm educating you on where to look to know how to safeguard your license in conducting your business. And that's all I'm going to spend on this workshop on that issue. But of course, if you have additional questions, check with an attorney in your state who does have experience and education in nurse practice issues. Most do not, so you'll need to look for someone who has that additional training. Now, let's get into the marketing part that is the rest of this webinar. So what we're going to do in the next hour or a little more is to help you get a little more clear on who you want to help. In marketing language, that's called your niche, or I like to say audience because it's just more of an ordinary everyday word. They both mean the same thing. Niche and audience mean who you want to help. How to reach those people, that's your marketing. And then how to help those people get clear on whether your service is a good fit for them. That's sales conversations that are respectful. So that's what you're going to learn in this class. Let's start with the 7 musts of a profitable business idea, because here's the thing. No matter how well you learn to market your offer, your services, if it wasn't a profitable business idea in the first place, you still won't be able to have a stable, sustainable business. It's got to, your original idea has to meet certain criteria. So let's go over these. And I learned these from one of my mentors, Marisa Murgatroyd. Her business is called Live Your Message, and her logo's there at the bottom of the screen. If you see other logos at the bottom of the screen, if I don't mention them, these are, I'm giving credit to the source of the particular idea on the screen. Okay, so first of all, your business idea, let's say it's a coaching service for a particular audience, it must solve a specific and acknowledged problem or purpose, not a hidden problem. That means it can't be a problem that people have, but they don't know they have it. Okay? The next thing is the people must, besides just knowing they have the problem, they also have to be actively seeking a solution. And it's better yet if they're highly motivated and urgently looking for the solution. Okay? Otherwise, it could be a long time before they actually decide they're ready to purchase help with this problem. They also must be able to pay a price that sustains you to provide the service. Now, if your audience is completely local in your town or county, an area where you physically reside and have a lot of network, it doesn't take a lot of people having that problem for you to have a sustainable business. But most of us these days are wanting to reach beyond our physical location or be location independent, and so we want to have a digital audience, reach people remotely. And in that case, you're going to need to be solving a problem that at least 10,000 people have. Okay, and that they're seeking a solution to the problem. Now, that number might seem really large at first, but if you sit back and think about it, most of the kinds of problems that I've heard nurses want to help people with, there are way more than 10,000 people in the world, on the planet, with internet, who have that problem that they're thinking of. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Excuse me. Your description of your audience must be targeted. And in other words, it should bring a specific real person to mind when you describe who you help and who you serve. You must be able to easily reach the people in your audience. Now, an example of an audience that couldn't be easily reached or might be a challenge, let's say, would be some very vulnerable, protected group of people. And in that case, children would be an example, or elders with dementia, let's say. You might not, in those cases, be reaching those people that you want to serve. You'll be reaching their caregivers or the people who are responsible for helping them. Okay, so that's how that works. Let's go to the next one. Oh, and I see my pictures over the screen. I'm going to take off my picture here. The next one is that it's really essential that you enjoy the work. Don't make the mistake of just choosing something that you aren't sure that you'll enjoy just because you're eager to get out of a bad situation in a job. It's much better to test with several ideas until you find one that you feel like you'll really enjoy doing over time. And next thing is you'll need to feel aligned with your marketing activities, because there again, if you don't feel happy about marketing, you just won't do it. I can attest to this myself, and so I'm sure some of you listening to this can too. So if you have any kind of inner conflicts with the marketing activities that you think you should be doing, that needs to be worked out. You'll need to find different ideas that you do feel aligned with, so there's not an inner conflict. And then, because the thing is, a business is like a disciplined cycle over and over of taking a step, seeing how it works, taking another step, seeing how it works, and making small adjustments to your steps as you go along, and learn every day. So taking action every day and learning every day to grow your business and also your mindset. And to do all these things, it's vital that you have education and support that's aligned with your license as a nurse and also your personal values. Now, a lot of business and marketing education out there is not really aligned with our licenses and or our values. So that's going to be key to your long-term success. So that is why it is here on this list of the musts. Now, did you know that your business has developmental stages, just like people? Businesses start with like a little seed or an embryo. That's when you have the idea and you feel the calling, and then they develop up through the different stages. And here's a map that I have put together to help you visualize this. So stage 0 over on the left, that's when you're preparing yourself. You've got the ideas, but you haven't like taken the steps yet to start putting your ideas out there and getting clients. So maybe that was probably in stage 0. If you're a coach, you went to coaching training or other kinds of training, maybe energy healing or other types of things where you learn new tools. Besides those tools, it's very important also to prepare yourself mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. So there are certain milestones within that stage 0 to accomplish so that you're ready to go move to the next stage, which is stage one. Stage one is where you choose one idea, and uh, most of us need to test a number of ideas before they come up with the one that we're really going to run with. So you do that testing, you pick the idea, you test it or validate it through with live people, either through a focus group or doing a pilot test with individuals in a series of tests. And that will let you know, number one, yes, my idea for helping people solve a problem, it actually works. And number two, people will pay me for it. It's important to validate both of those things before you try to grow your business. So stage one, you're proving your concept, you're designing it, testing it, proving it, and learning the basic skills of marketing so that you can consistently have at least one full pay client. And at this stage, you have another means of support. You're not trying to rely on your business as your sole means of support. Then, when you've got that stage, you've hit all the milestones, you're ready to go to stage two. This is where you can grow the business. You grow what you started in stage one, and consistently then having at least 10 clients will develop your skills further and give you a steady, reliable income now that you can rely on for full time. And then when you're ready to go beyond that stage, stage three is what scaling. And unfortunately, well, fortunately or unfortunately, scaling is, you know, widely known. You've heard about that through a lot of different marketing of business programs. And the thing is, we're not ready for those programs until we're making at least 100,000 in a year in our business. Because scaling, first of all, it builds on the skills that we've developed in the previous stages, but also it leaves those strategies and techniques behind and instead you develop different strategies, completely different strategies. And these strategies will not work in the earlier stages. In fact, they can be dangerous to us as if we're a new entrepreneur in stage one or even stage two. It would be like, you just wouldn't give your car keys to a toddler and ask them to go drive to the store and get something for you. They're not developmentally able in any part of themselves to do that safely. And so same with scaling. I've made this mistake myself, and I know many nurse entrepreneurs who have. The scaling, the advertising for courses that are teaching people to scale sound great. There's a lot of glamour and excitement in those kind of learning those kind of techniques, but they won't go anywhere. It'll just be a flop for you if you haven't done the work of the first two stages and if you've missed any of the milestones along the way. In fact, in any of these stages, if you miss milestones, then what happens if you go into the next stage, you'll sort of stall out. You'll only go so far and you'll stall out. And it takes usually someone to help you look back and identify what you've missed, get that in place, and then you can go farther. Okay, so that was the developmental stages. Let's go to the next concept here. So nurses are very good at focusing on what the people want, who they're serving. And so lean into that as you start your business. The trick, though, is to not look at it so much from your point of view as from their point of view. You want to look at You look for something that people want that you can help them get, and then look at it from their point of view. And I encourage, when you're first starting out, pick something that fits this criteria, even if it's not your ideal work at first, and develop it for a while, because you'll learn some skills in doing that that then you can transfer over to working with a little more refined idea when you get ready for that. So you're starting with one thing that people want that you can help them get. You're going to learn as much as you can about what it takes to make a difference to those people. And the first step is to listen to people's fears about getting help. Now, that might not have occurred to you before, but it's super important, because um, most of us, if we haven't already gotten the help that we need, there's some little obstacle there, and a lot of times it's our fear. So listen to their fears, and then think about how you can reduce the risk for them, and also include yourself in this. Think about what you're afraid of, and what would reduce the risk for you. We always want to look at both how we can benefit our clients and ourselves. And then when we have enough clients, that doesn't mean that it's supporting us full time, but it's enough that we feel complete with that test. Then refine our niche, refine our audience, who we want to serve, and go forward again. Start and go and iterate again. So let's go a little deeper now into this idea of choosing your audience or your niche. You want to take this a step at a time, and I've said test it. Another way you can think of it is you're just going to date your niche, okay, before you marry it. Just like you wouldn't want to make a big commitment to a person until you've really been around them in a lot of situations and spent time in a lot of situations. Do the same thing with the idea of who you think you want to serve and what problem you think you want to solve, help them solve. Okay? So let's start out. This is an exercise. The first step is to write in your notes, who is your audience? Who do you want to help? Pause this video to do that. Okay, now the purpose of that and of describing your audience is just to make it easy for people to recognize themselves or someone they know who needs your help. So keep that in mind as we keep going through this exercise. Your whole point of it is to make it easy for people to recognize themselves or someone they know who needs your help. So step one, you're going to identify your audience with 2 or 3 words. And I'm going to give you some examples. Instead of just saying women, let's say, for instance, women in recovery. Or instead of saying nurses, say nurse educators. Do you see how that immediately is more specific? And it gives you a much more informed picture in your mind of who we're talking about. Okay, so pause the video, write your test version. Okay. Now the next part of this exercise is to add the person's goal, outcome, or result that they want. So start with who you help. That's your audience in 2 to 3 words. And then add the goal, outcome, or result they want. And I like to think of this in terms of what do they want to do, be, or have. Okay. So go ahead and write your test version in your notes. There's the recipe again, who you help and what they want to do, be, or have. And I'll give you these 2 examples to think about. Actually, I have 3 examples. You can see these. So women in recovery, that was one of our previous examples. And what do they want? These women want to manage chronic pain. Okay, so now that even gives you further depth into your audience. And more importantly, it gives the listener more clarity about who it is that you serve. Let's look at the next one. Nurse educators who want to create online CE courses, and nurse entrepreneurs who want to have a thriving business. Okay, go ahead, pause it, write your test version. Be as specific as you can while keeping it very short to just no more than 4 or 5 words if possible. That's a challenge. But uh, don't get too hung up on it. It's always fine to start with where you're at, but have a goal of refining your words and making them more concise over time. Okay, that was the first 2 parts of this exercise. Now here's the third part. You'll add the client's drawback to changing. So there's usually a drawback or something that your audience wants to avoid. And that's why they haven't made the change before already. So for instance, chronic pain, managing chronic pain without pharmaceuticals is an example, or creating online CE courses without tech overwhelm, or having a thriving business without putting their license or financial stability at risk. See this? Now this third part takes the clarity up another notch. So let's, here is your recipe, and I'm going to give you the examples. I'll show you the recipe again in case you didn't get that written down. I guess you can pause it. So here's the examples. Women in recovery who want to manage their chronic pain without pharmaceuticals. Okay, see that it gets very specific. Now, you won't have the magic recipe at first. You'll try different audiences, then you'll try different problems. Like the problem is manage their chronic pain, and then the drawback, you can try different drawbacks without pharmaceuticals, or maybe there's other things. This is actually an audience description from a nurse entrepreneur I know who provides aromatherapy and reflexology. And this is her audience of who she helps with those tools. Here's another one. Nurse educators who want to create online CE courses without tech overwhelm. And then this one is, the last one is mine. So all you're needing to do here is get in the ballpark. Start with people who are likely to be interested in your help. And then as you go along iterating, speaking it out loud to people, writing it, putting it out in the world, you'll refine. Okay, so go ahead and pause and write your own audience description. Now, you can take this just another step. You know how it's sometimes awkward when someone says, "What do you do?" And you know you're supposed to say back something brilliant that tells them about your business. So I'm going to give you a recipe for that. Okay, so this recipe has at its core the audience description that we just did, people who want a certain result without a certain drawback. I've highlighted that on the screen. All you're going to do is add an action verb at the beginning, a little testimony or a little story, very short, just a few sentences, of somebody you've helped, and then a question at the end. Do you know any people who want that result? Okay, that's the recipe. And of course, you can pause, take a screenshot, or write this down. Okay, so the new parts that we're adding are the action verb. That's very simple. It's just like I teach, I coach, I guide, I balance energy, whatever it is that you do. And then the testimony, and this can even be from you if you haven't served clients yet. If it can be from you or your family or someone in a clinical setting. It doesn't even have to be a testimony. It can just be you telling a little short story about them. And then asking, do you know any people who want that result? So here's what it looks like. This example is for my business. And so I encourage you to read this and then pause and see if you can write out your own sample of this introduction and referral conversation. Here's the formula again. Okay, congratulations. You've completed the very first step. Now you have enough clarity to move forward to the next question, how to reach those people. So don't get too hung up on the first step. Just get something that you feel comfortable with that you can start putting out in the world, and then it will evolve um, and and start reaching out to people with it. Here we go. Now, before I get into the marketing, I haven't told you anything really about me. If you don't know me yet, you might be wondering, why should you listen to me? So I started in nursing in 1974 as an LPN. I became an RN in 79 and a massage therapist in 84. I co-owned, so the massage therapy was my first business. I co-owned a massage therapy group practice in a medical center from 88 to 93 and learned a lot about networking and marketing and promotion and customer service and that kind of thing. In that setting, of course, that was all in person. And then I did a private practice. I went back into private practice, doing both massage and health coaching. And I wrote a textbook during that time for massage therapists and pioneered in selling CE courses online to massage therapists and nurses. Now, at that point, I really wanted to have um, a business that could be done anywhere, that I would really have my freedom and for using my time as I wanted and being living anywhere I wanted to. Those were my goals. And so, as a matter of fact, when I was finishing the book, I moved to Hawaii and lived on a mountain on the Big Island, off grid, and it was great. Had waterfalls there and could see the ocean, and it was just wonderful. I really needed to unplug because I was really traumatized by my experiences in mainstream healthcare. Um, so I did a lot of healing, and that freedom was so important for me. So that was my number one goal. But I'll tell you what, going online was super frustrating, long and torturous learning curve. I didn't know how to market. I spent a lot of sleepless nights. I made a lot of mistakes, uh, and had a lot of anxiety. And I was searching for business mentors, but it was back then in the early to mid 2000s, it was really hard to find business mentors that I could relate to as a nurse. So I then stuck with it, and I met other nurse entrepreneurs. Got we collaborated, we shared ideas, and I could see that I was not the only one that was having struggles. We all had similar struggles that we recognized. And then I was in a position working with the American Holistic Nurses Association. I was their nurse specialist for a while, and I answered the phone and answered questions for nurses who were wanting to start their own businesses. And it really opened my eyes to the huge need that there was uh, for nursing business mentors. So I started translating conventional business practices into entrepreneurial nursing practices, um, based on the nursing process and based on our standards of practice and our ethics. And I did that during COVID. And then I started this business that I'm in now, New Directions for Nurses, and my program called the Liberated Nurse Business Incubator. So that's who I am. And I'm so committed to now sharing what I've learned for those 40 years in business and multiple types of business, for profit and nonprofit, online and offline too. So I, I, it's my heart and my legacy to share with nurses how to have a business that's ethical and sustainable for them in their own way, for their own goals. So let's get back to the marketing piece then. So I define marketing as making your offer visible to your audience And very important, so I underlined it, you invite them to take action. CTA means call to action, and you'll hear that a lot in marketing circles. So this section of the lesson is going to give you another set of exercises. And this first one is my strong recommendation that you use a very, very simple business model to get your first 10 clients. Now, down the road, you can make it more complicated. You can have multiple offers and so on. But I highly recommend that you just choose one offer to start with, like one coaching program or one consulting package. And when I say offer, I mean you're helping this one group of people, your audience, one audience, solve one problem. Okay. You will test it, you will tweak it, you will change it up and so on while you're learning. That's fine, but don't make the mistake. I've done it myself, so I'm speaking from my experience. Don't make the mistake of trying to lay out several different things that you're offering. Go deep with one. Okay, become a specialist with one. And part of the reason for that is so that you'll be recognized for that one thing. People will you'll get more and more comfortable with presenting. You'll have more practice when you're focused. So, and then in addition to the one thing, you want to have one or at the most two free things that are lead magnets. In other words, they are gifts that you can give a person who's interested in what you're doing, to help them know you better, and to also, the purpose of the lead magnet is to spark their curiosity and give them hope that there's something that could help them. Okay, and the another purpose behind the lead magnets, remember I said always look at the benefit for your audience as well as for yourself, because we want win-win activity in our business where it helps both sides of the both parties. So what you get from this is that you typically get the audience's email address in exchange for giving them the gift, or if you don't want to have an online business, you can get their phone number. And the idea is that you have a way to stay in touch with them and develop and nurture that relationship with them. So common lead magnet examples, I know you've seen all of these before, but these are probably the top 6 that are going on right now in our culture. And in my view, the best advertising is still word of mouth. So which lead magnet do you think is most likely to foster word of mouth at the beginning of a nurse's business? Okay, I'll tell you my view, it's workshops. And you can, of course, include stories in your workshops, and you can give away toolkits or checklists in your workshops. But workshops to me is the best place for nurses to start off with in the beginning. Simple workshops and live where you can have Q&A and engagement and interaction with your audience. So even if this might sound a little scary, I'm going to tell you a simple way to do it here. And it's really not nearly as hard or complicated as things you've done as a nurse. Way less risky, way less scary. It just is new, and you just will need to go out and practice. Okay. And the thing is that with a little practice, you can enroll probably one or more clients from every workshop that you give. And at the same time, build a list of people who maybe aren't quite ready yet, but they're interested and they want to learn more. And then you can stay in touch with them. So what should you talk about? Well, the purpose of your workshop is to introduce your target audience to your work. And so you're going to want to focus on that urgent problem that they're struggling with, the problem that you identified, as you describe your audience. And in the workshop, you want to listen to them. You want to engage with them, listen to them, and demonstrate your empathy for them and their experience. You also want to talk about your diagnosis of what's causing the problem or your point of view on what's causing the problem. This gives the person insight into this cause. If they already knew the cause, they probably wouldn't be listening to you. It's a mystery to them, or maybe it's something that they know part of the cause, but not the whole cause. Or maybe they have a different viewpoint than what on the cause and what people have been telling them. And if you have the same or similar viewpoint as theirs, they are going to really want to hear what you have to say. And then the third thing is you want to tell them your results that you've had in helping people reach their goal or solve their problem. This establishes credibility and also gives the people hope. So I'm kind of getting a little rough voice. I'm going to pause speaking for a minute and let you just read this slide, and I'll point out a couple of the high points with a drink of water. I think the main point I haven't mentioned so far is that don't try to be perfect. Keep this warm and friendly, casual. Plan to only talk for 20 to 30 minutes and then have additional time for them to, ask you questions. And you don't want that question time to be rushed. You want to have that feel spacious to them. And then it's very key to invite them to contact you at the end. Give them your email address or phone, however you want them to contact you, and give them a sign up sheet or maybe little 3x5 cards, some way that they can give you their email address if they want more information. So that was the what to talk about. Here is the where. The best place is to do these in small groups, letting other people host you, because that way you get introduced to other people's network. You're not just only relying on the people you know. You're also getting to be seen and heard by the people they know. So it expands your circle of influence, and it expands your visibility. So I know a lot of you are probably thinking that you feel like you're bad at marketing. Maybe you've tried some of it and it didn't work for you yet. But the thing is, it's a skill that improves with practice. That's one thing to know. So don't give up. The second thing is that fun self-promotion is probably not one of our human strengths. It's probably like something that causes a weakness in us, and for good reason. It's much better to promote others. Actually, it's easier and we do a better job when we're promoting others. So yes, you do need to promote yourself, but don't make that the only thing that's happening. Make it easy for other people to promote you and recommend you. They'll be better at promoting you than you'll ever be. And get together with other nurse entrepreneurs so that you can all promote each other to your circles. Now, when you're ready to take your promotions past your immediate network of the people you know and the people they know, then you're going to want to find the hubs that your audience is connected to. Hubs. So what is a hub? Well, it's a center of a wheel, or it's the center of an activity. In marketing, Tad Hargrave coined the term hub, and it's a person, a place, or an event through which you can reach the people in your audience. Now think about this. Let's think about the wheel like the people in your audience. Let's say women in recovery, for instance, if that was your audience. If you tried to go to if each of these spokes was a different woman, and you wanted to reach them all, you could go to them individually, starting with this one, going to the next, around the wheel, like that, going one by one. Or you could go to the hub That would be a person, place, or event where all of the your audience is connecting. And in just going there, you can see all of it, the hub connects to all the people. So here's an example. Imagine you have a hamburger stand and you're allowed one advantage to reach your audience. What would you pick? Would you pick best sauce, best patties, best service, fastest, vegan? What kind of thing? What do you think would give you an advantage uh, to really in your marketing so that you would hit your income goals? That's what you're trying to do is have a lot of clients, right? Have a lot of customers. Well, the best advantage would be to be in a hub, to be in a hub where there's a hungry crowd. Go to a place, an event, or connect with a person that's connected to a bunch of hungry people. That that would give you the strongest advantage for success. Here's another example. You may have seen this in social media of the Girl Scout who sold 117 boxes of cookies in 2 hours because she went to a place where people uh, would be likely to want her product. It's brilliant. So one is one hub where the people that you want to serve gather, and or this could be virtually as well. It could be a person who's an authority, and the people that you want to serve listen to that person. Okay, or it doesn't have to be a physical place like the hamburger stand or the Girl Scout cookie uh, or the dispensary that the Girl Scout went to. So it can be challenging to think about these at first, but give it some time and don't give up. And actually, if you network with other nurse entrepreneurs, it can really pay off in this for this exercise because it's a lot easier to see the opportunities for other people than it is for ourselves at the beginning. So you might want to go to a hub where there's other nurse entrepreneurs online or in person, and talk about this idea of hubs with them, and see if you can help each other think of where hubs would be for your audiences. So congratulations, that's the end of step 2. And now you have enough clarity to move forward to the next question that we're going to cover, which is how do I help people get clear on whether my service is a good fit for them? And we do this through sales conversations. So I want to make sure you know that everything I'm teaching tonight is based on ethical marketing. And this is the way I describe and define that. The very first and most important thing we need to do to have ethical marketing is to open our empathy to respectfully see and hear the person and find out what's relevant to them. If we do that, of course, nurses are great at that. It's why we're the most trusted profession of all professions, and we have been ever since it's been measured, which is over 20 years. But stand in this. This is one of our superpowers as nurses. Don't give up this superpower to be like all the other people out there with businesses that are marketing them. So many are not seeing the person respectfully. They're not feeling empathy toward their struggles and asking about what's relevant to them. So take the time to do that as the number one step. Step 2 then is to establish credibility with them by sharing your viewpoint on what's causing their struggle. And not only your viewpoint, but how did you get that viewpoint? Was it your education? Was your experience? It could be personal or clinical experience, either one. You want to share that and share it briefly and concisely. Then step 3 is to ask if they'd like to hear about your program or service and how it's helped other people to get the results that they want to get. If they say yes, You tell them about that, and then you ask if they want to know more about how you help people. And so you give them two opportunities to give consent before you go into your talking about your offer. This is, we always teach informed consent and transparency as two big parts of our ethics in business that we want to maintain from our nursing ethics. So you can feel natural and confident in your sales conversations by using those approaches. And also, you want to put your attention on helping the person see where their fears are, what's holding them back, and what choices they have and opportunities to change their life. Even if they don't go with your opportunity to change their life, you will have helped them and served them just by having that conversation that I described with you. So here are the steps to break it down. Have these conversations privately, okay? And we call these discovery calls. That's where you get on the phone usually or on Zoom with someone who's interested in your help, and they're weighing out if they want to hire you or not. And you're also weighing out if you want to them as a client, by the way. You don't have to take everybody you want, but in the beginning, I understand for the first 10 you might, and then you'll start to sense that some people maybe you want to work with more than others. So in this private conversation, you help them, ask them questions and listen, and help them recognize the layers of their drawbacks and their fears, and also the layers of their opportunities. Listen with empathy and don't try to fix anything in the discovery call. It's your presence and your questions and helping them see themselves that is the gift of the call. If you think your program or service fits, then with permission, invite them to enroll and answer their questions. And I'm going to start repeating myself here because the way we learn is to hear the same things over and over from slightly different angles. So here's how you make your offer attractive. You make sure it's relevant to the person's problem, and knowing that, but also relevant to their desired outcome, how they want their problem to change. Not only the goal, but actually how they want that change to come about, if possible. And then share your credibility with them. We've talked about that. And then make sure that your service solves their problem the way they want it to be solved, and help them with their risk management. Now, everybody takes a risk. It might be time, money, energy, all kinds of things. Even reputation can be at risk for people who decide to make a big change. You want to know what those risks are from your audience's eyes, and then in your offer, give them, you may or may not be giving a guarantee. In coaching, we usually don't give guarantees because it's so their outcome is so dependent on their participation and the choices that the client makes. But you can guarantee to show up and be present for them. What you're doing is giving them, helping them manage their risk, helping them have realistic security, and helping them to know if this is a step that they're willing and able to take. And then I encourage having a refund policy. And there's nuances to that, so I won't go into that here in this. But the main point I want you to have here is to help people manage their risk. That will do a lot to increase the number of people who will say yes to your offer. Now, when you do these things, you will find that there is no need for hype or exaggeration or pushy pitches. Okay? You can actually have these sales conversations in ways that feel good to everybody involved and build trust, and that both people come away feeling good, no matter which way the client decided to go with working with you. Okay, so that is the end of this content. And as far as what I wanted to teach tonight. Now, if you have questions, since we're not with each other live, there are a couple different ways you can ask me questions. In the dashboard of this course workshop that you enrolled in, this free workshop, you're going to see this as your dashboard. And right here, this little icon that says discussion, that's where you can put your questions. And I will check that at least once or twice a week and reply back. Also, the other participants in this workshop can also reply and respond to you. So you can ask for ideas, you can ask for feedback on your ideas, you can tell a challenge or a question that you're having. Feel free to really use this discussion area. There's a welcome letter here in the welcome, and of course the modules area is where this video is that you're watching now. Other places you can get help are, if you want to learn more about how this platform works, there's a short video tutorial right on your dashboard. You click watch right here, and it gives you more information about how to use the platform. And if you've tried both of those, or you still have questions, or your questions don't relate to those two things, you can send a private message to our email address, support@liberatednurse.com. So if you'd like to know how I can help you further, you're invited to stay on. I would like to talk for another 15 minutes or so about the Liberated Nurse Business Incubator. And, oh, I'm so sorry. I got ahead of myself because I'm excited to talk about that. I do want to recap our content here to help it anchor into your mind. So here are the steps to getting your first or next 10 clients. Describe your niche as succinctly and specifically as you can, and I've given you a recipe to do that. So who you help, what they want, and their drawback. Then you add the 3 parts to that to make your introduction and referral conversation. Share it with the people everywhere you go. You never know when the person next to you is going to be your next client, or maybe somebody in their circle of acquaintances. So share it with your short conversation, introduction, and referral conversation everywhere you go. And then use a simple business model. Offer your service to the people who are likely to be interested. Refine it as you go. Keep your focus on one offer. That means one problem and one solution, and just 1 or 2 lead magnets. I recommend the simple live workshops to start with, and connect with hubs to boost your business's visibility. And then the third step is to help people get clear on if your offer fits for them. And to do that, you help them see the layers of their drawbacks and fears, and help them see where their choices are, what choices and opportunities do they have, and tell them about yours that you're offering. So you should follow those steps because they don't put your license at risk. They don't require huge investments of time or money. And you can stay in your job until you've confirmed the value of your business idea. You don't quit your day job until you know that you've tested your ideas and you have something that it works for people, and that people will pay you for, and they'll pay you enough to make a living at it. If you follow these steps, you will have no huge loss if you decide, for instance, that you're just not going to pursue it. Maybe not everybody is cut out to be an entrepreneur. So if you do decide to go further, here's what you'll need to do. You'll need to cultivate a brave and positive mindset. Okay, business is doable, but there's not guarantees. You don't have the policies and procedures in place like you do as an employee. Your you're not winging it, but you're creating your path as you go along. It's not all laid out for you. And you're testing as you go along, as I've said. So it takes courage and it takes a lot of ability to keep ourselves positive when things that we try don't work. And so um, we need to get used to that. We need to just keep taking action, even if it's not perfect. And the main thing is to keep it aligned with our values and goals and don't quit because we will learn and we will get better. Something that can really help, of course, is to be paying attention to your audience all the time. What do they want? What are they looking for? What are they struggling with? What is standing in their way? Talk to them, but mostly listen to them and notice the nuances. Those can make a night and day difference in how effective your marketing messages are and how effective your offer is, your when your services. I strongly encourage all of us to focus and grow a narrow niche that goes deep, not wide. Now, if you are young and have all the time in the world and maybe like another source of income to support you, you can be a generalist and do stay very much a generalist for a long time before you specialize. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not a bad choice. It's just that if you're wanting to uh, have a business that's sustainable, it's your sole source of income and sustainable, you will do that quicker and easier if you develop a specialty. And that means uh, going deep in a narrow niche. You also have got to have compassionate expert guidance and support uh, from somewhere. It's extremely hard to do this on our own. And I encourage you to do that uh, with my whole heart, to find someone who's you feel comfortable with, someone who has a lifestyle that you would like to have. That's key. And because if you're going to follow someone's guidance, you want it to be leading you to where you want to go. So now this concludes the learning content, and I hope you got plenty of value from our time together. And there is my website if you're interested in what we're doing at the Liberated Nurse Entrepreneurs community. And so now, if you'd like to stay for a few more minutes, I would love to tell you about the Business Incubator. This is designed for nurses who really feel called to start their own business, but they're not sure what to do and how to prioritize their steps. And so this program will help you create, market, and deliver your program or service. We use a structured, evidence-based system for success, and it prevents you from doing this business thing with a ton of stress and risk. So let me tell you, I'd love to tell you a little bit about it. Remember, I mentioned the business developmental stages. The Liberated Nurse Business Incubator guides nurses through stages 0 and 1. Okay, so you get well prepared inside yourself, and then you choose your best idea and you test it and prove it. And you do all this in a supportive circle of myself and other business coaches I've trained, and also other nurse entrepreneurs who are peers with you, or who are at the same place you are in your journey. The content is self-paced. It's video lessons with templates, exercises, tips, all kinds of tools that we give you one step at a time as you're ready to use them. And the framework we use is the holistic nurse business development process, which I created when I translated conventional business processes and practices into the nursing model. And so we take you through these steps, which I've already mentioned. The last one being to really, after once you've proven your idea, we get you launched and help you really market in the way that fits you, your personality, and your resources, both time and energy and money resources. So we give you tool set, mindset, and skill development in our program so that you, instead of feeling frustrated and not getting the results you want, you learn to trust yourself and your experience. And you learn to feel clear and confident in your niche, in all parts of your business. And here's, for instance, a little testimony from one of the students that I've helped. I'll let you pause and read that. So the incubator is an entire year of business education and support. Now, if this was a do-it-yourself kind of a thing, where you just get the learning materials, I've seen some programs like that. That is just not enough, because we learn these kind of skills through conversation, uh, both for us to speak out, to practice speaking, to put our words together, and then to get feedback from the people listening to us. And the reverse is true too. That's why we do everything in a group, so that we can listen to each other and hear things, point out things, reflect things to each other in a very compassionate, kind way, um, so that we are lifted up and amplified and encouraged. So the incubator gives you lifetime access to all of the learning content and a year of access to the support. And the support is really quite amazing. And that's the word I hear from the students all the time. We give this group coaching that I mentioned 3 weeks every month. That's a total of 36 live group coaching Zooms. Of course, if you can't make it, you can see the recording. And by meeting every week, this helps you stay on track so that you can keep inching forward. We believe small steps are best, and don't stop, don't pause or get distracted. Just stay focused, inching forward every week, taking action. And in our group coaching, we're there to help you meet the challenges when they arise. And then we give unlimited personal support and question and answer support in a private portal that is this one that you're in right now, watching this video. So we don't use Facebook or any of the social media for that. And you get to team up with a personal accountability buddy to help you privately, reflect with each other. And then we do have private one-to-one business coaching sessions available for an additional fee if you'd like to have that. And honestly, it's a very affordable fee for private business coaching. I can't tell you enough how important it is to have a live community of peers and mentors encouraging you. This would have made all the difference to me when I was starting out in business. Um, so pause. The rest of these, I'm going to go through kind of quickly on the rest of these slides. I trust that you'll pause them if you see something that you'd like to read the details of. So we do, in addition to what I've described to you as the main program, we also have some bonuses that come with this program. The first one is our marketing lab, and this is, I think, just a phenomenal way to help nurse entrepreneurs develop their businesses. It's a fairly new thing that we've only started a few months ago, and it's making a huge difference for the people that are attending. So once you have proven your concept of your business idea, you've finished testing it, you're ready to commit to it. Now we want to really ramp up your marketing. You maybe took baby steps of marketing to enroll people who tested it for you, but now we want to ramp it up, take it to the next level. So you can still come to the group coaching sessions that meet 3 times a month, but now we give you also an additional 4 times a month where we're focusing strictly on marketing. And we work in small groups to help you optimize your message and improve your sales process and develop the confidence in your marketing and sales process, and even handle your questions with technology. So, uh, yeah, we have been charging $97 a month for a subscription to this marketing lab, and I'm going to include that now as a bonus in the program. Another bonus is a video class by a wonderful entrepreneur, Yeshe Chodron. She worked with us for a while here in the team, and she's gone on to focus completely now on her own business. But she recorded this class and called Insecure to Empower. And it really gives you beautiful tools to exercise your power as a whole person and stay present in stressful moments. And I think you'll really enjoy that bonus. Another bonus, and this is a key for business success, in my opinion, and that is to have your entrepreneurial energy assessment and report. Now, I contract with another company who developed this assessment based on the I Ching and the Chinese elements, and it's very helpful. It's been very helpful to me and to my students to have the assessment and the report. It costs $97, but I am to do the test, but I'm also including that because, okay, I wanted to tell you, here is the thing. None of us can be superstars in all things. We all have been designed to have natural talents, innate talents, and gifts and strengths in some areas, and then have other areas that are not so strong. So, for instance, let's say this is based on the 4 directions here, just like most cultures have something that's an energy assessment, a way of understanding creation based on the directions. But this one with the I Ching, in the north is the energy of being very creative, visionary, really strong in design, and answering the question what. Okay, so this is highly creative. Now the complementary energy in the south is the earth energy of being very grounded, being very tuned in to timing and rhythm, and uh, able to answer the question when, like when is the right time to do something, um, as compared to, see how that's different than the energy in the north that answers what to do, what should we do, what would be creative, what would solve this problem, and so on. Now, you might have one of these energies more than the other. And when you identify that, it can tell you so much about how to use your energy to the best advantage in your business. And just briefly, I'll point out these other 2 directions. Here on the west is the steel or metal energy that focuses their natural genius is on answering how to do something. And they're super at tracking data, tracking progress, identifying where things are stuck. That's the genius over here. And then on the east here, it's the blaze energy that looks at the question of who, and their strengths are in making connections with people, and connecting people together. So you can see how these are all very different energies. All of us have all of the energies, but we most times have one or two that are dominant. And if we have two, let's say, then we're here on a corner energy. So, for instance, the combination of the creative, visionary energy with the meeting and connecting energy, that is this one here, the star in this upper corner. And that is a particular type of energy. And they're very naturally good at marketing, by the way, the people in this uh, quadrant. The people across from them are not so good at marketing, but they have other strengths that they can leverage in their business. So uh, that's this assessment, and it's really worth a lot. We use it a lot in the program to help you and to customize what you're doing. And then the fourth bonus is that this program is approved by the American Holistic Nurses Association for 60 holistic nursing CE contact hours. And you can use the contact hours that you earn in this program to renew your license. It's accepted in all 50 states. So no need to do other CE things when you're in the program. We've got you covered for CEs during the year you're in it. And then also, these CEs are qualify for certification and recertification as a holistic nurse or a nurse coach with the AHNCC. So if you're either preparing to be a holistic nurse or nurse coach, or if you already have been certified and you want to keep your certification up, this program will meet those requirements for you. So I want to tell you that I think it's very important that you know what kind of outcomes you could receive from this. And I believe in tangible, measurable outcomes as much as possible. So, of course, I know that your success is going to be due to your effort and how much you show up and what you put into this. However, I want to promise you what I'll do on my side. And not only me, but our team of Liberated Nurse Entrepreneur Coaches. So we will guide you step by step to create, market, and deliver your unique service that contributes to holistic health and well-being for yourself and your audience. We'll help you face and move through any challenges that come up, and we'll support you with our self-paced learning content and unlimited Q&A and group coaching. And we'll partner with you to develop your knowledge and skills and confidence that you need. And when you graduate, you will have a stable foundation and a customized plan that we help you build through the year based on who you are and what you value and where you want to go, and your energy, your entrepreneurial energy profile. All of that goes into a customized plan so that you can grow your business to whatever level you want to grow it. So you can try our program up to 30 days risk-free. All we ask is that you tell us what didn't work for you if you decide to leave within that 30 days. And we do give you a guarantee that if you participate and follow our process, you will secure your first paid client within 30 days, and you'll consistently earn more than $3,000 per month net income by the end of your year in the program. If you do not achieve those goals, we will continue to support you until you do. That means you already have lifetime access to all the learning content, but if you have not achieved these goals at the end of the year, you can continue to come to the group coaching calls and have our support. You can continue to have the question and answer support in the platform, and you can even continue to have the marketing, the access to the marketing lab. So I haven't really added up all of the value that I'm giving you. A lot of it is, uh, anyway, it's well over $5,000 of value in the program. And of course, we're not going to charge that. The investment for the program is $2,997, and you can pay that in full in one payment, or you can break it up into 12 monthly payments. And right on the screen is the URL for the program. We'd love for you to join us. A new cohort is starting soon. There's one more bonus. If you decide to pay in full, you'll receive 2 private coaching sessions that you can use anytime during the 12-month program. Okay. So our next cohort starts February 15th, and enrollment is limited to 10 new students. So don't wait till the last minute. Go to our website. The URL is right here, liberatednurse.com/LNBI, and check us out. And if you have questions, you can put them, in the discussion part of the dashboard, or also in this, if you look below this video, in this module, there's also a link that you can use to schedule a call with me. And it's a free call, and the purpose is to help give you a chance to ask me questions and sort out if this is the right program for you. I know it's a big investment, not only in money, but also in time. But if you're serious about having a business that works for you, gives you the lifestyle that you want, gives you the freedom and the self-care that you want, the time to be with your family and other people that are important to you, and that it builds a sustainable business that you can count on and grow going forward into stage 2, and beyond it if you want. I think that even though this program seems like an investment, that investment will shorten. I 100% know that it will shorten the time and the energy that you would spend trying to do this yourself. So thank you for your attention. I look forward to talking with you further if you're interested. And I hope that you will, even if you don't join the incubator at this time, I hope that you'll continue to be engaged with our community. We're going to be offering more free workshops and also some small paid workshops during this year to help nurses just move forward safely and develop their businesses. So thank you again. Have a wonderful rest of your day.